All right, our final part here. You growing up, we were talking prior, and you told me you didn't know till you were about 13, 14 years old that your mom was actually a mail-order bride.
Yeah.
And that's something that you hear about, but didn't know about it. I was just curious what your reaction was when you first learned of that. And then talk a little bit about your mom, because she had to become an American citizen, and she raised you and your two other siblings and all. So I'd like to just touch a little bit on that.
When my mother told me that she was a mail-order bride, it was a little surprising, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool because I realized that this was a story you don't hear every day, and this was my reality. This is my mom's story, and I just wanted to know everything. And basically her story was, and it's inspirational, especially when it comes to chasing a dream, because my mom is from the Philippines, but when she was a mail-order bride, she was living in Singapore. And she was in Singapore working in a sweatshop, like sewing clothes for little money, just very little money. And she was doing it because she was trying to learn how to design clothes, because her dream was to become a fashion designer. So she's trying to learn this trade of sewing clothes and designing, all just hoping that someday she's going to get a break as a fashion designer. And she was like really driven, and she wanted to go to London. That was her ultimate dream, was to go to London, be a designer. And she was talking to her friends in Singapore, the other girls that worked in the sweatshop, and she asked them, you know, how am I going to get to London? How am I going to do it? And they suggested that she become a mail-order bride, because surely somebody from London or various parts of the world would want to marry her, because my mom was so beautiful when she was young. And, you know, she chased the dream. Like, she signed up to be a mail-order bride. She took like pictures, like a photo shoot, and they shipped it off to these agencies, I guess. And she got letters from all over the world. And she had a choice. She didn't have to. She wasn't forced to marry. She had a choice. She could marry whoever she wanted. But she got letters from all over the world.
I think that's something interesting too, because a lot of times, at least I don't know much about this.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, you think, okay, this is different than an arranged marriage, because there's still countries that do arranged marriages, and there you just have to, the families, and you just have to marry whoever. But this actually, she had a choice.
She had a choice, and she got letters from all over the world, including London, guys from London. But my father, who lived in Los Angeles, she loved the way that he wrote letters to her. And what's cool is I was digging through some stuff in my mom's house the other day, and I found some letters that he wrote to her, and just very romantic, you know, stuff I wish I could think of, but it's very romantic. I can see why she fell in love with the guy, and he saved up the money to get her a plane ticket over, and she came over, and within a month of being here, she married my dad. Fun fact about my dad was old enough to be my mom's dad. My mom was in her early 30s, which blows my mind. She lived a full adult life in Far East Asia, and then just left her family and friends and everything she knew to come to a completely different country and marry a stranger, pretty much. Dude, she's the bravest person I know, just for even having the balls to do that. So she did that, and my dad, who was in his 60s when he married my mom, and I mean, they got to having kids pretty fast.
Sure, so, the dad, well, of course, the dad and all, because you said then, unfortunately, God rest his soul, died.
My father died when I was 5, so my mom came to this country in 1986, same year I was born, so they were only together really 5 years, and they made it work for 5 years, pumped out 3 kids, and then my dad died, and my mom was left alone to figure this all out, how she's going to survive in this country, raise these kids, and make money all on her own. And unfortunately, she didn't become a fashion designer because her priority became her kids, and she had to make ends meet, and she worked a lot of odd jobs, and still to this day, she just works like she's a workhorse, like absolutely. She just works like a slave sometimes, just trying to make money, and it's really hard. But man, if I was even a thimbleful as strong as she is, then I think I'd go pretty far in life. But I can't even wrap my head around the strength that woman has.
And she was able to do it, raise the 3 kids, and then she also became an American citizen.
She became an American citizen. Yeah, when I was 7 years old. Became an American citizen, eventually got her own car, paid for our house. She just started from scratch and made it all work. And that's really inspiring, especially now that I'm getting older and have my own responsibilities. Now I live in my own apartment, and I've got my own car and stuff, and it just seems like it's so difficult to figure all this adulthood stuff out. And then I just think to myself, yeah, I think it's hard. My mom was a foreigner with nothing, and she figured it all out with 3 kids. So who am I to complain?
It makes you appreciate things more as well.
Absolutely. So, I mean, considering that my mom had those hardships and those obstacles, the fact that she raised 3 kids, all 3 of us in college, I'm wrestling here at TNA, my brother's making great money, my sister's in dental hygiene school, like, she has a lot to be proud of.
She did well.
Yeah.
She did well with you guys. That's great. All right. Well, listen, thank you for the time.
No problem.
Got to get the hairspray.
Yeah.
That's the thing. See, this is something they should market right here, I think.
They should make my own Zema Ion hairspray.
Right? Do you like that?
Or shoptna.com.
Yeah, exactly. Right? They could do that.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck out there. All right?
Thank
Go get
you.
them.